Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to cover quite a few things. First being the nursery that I'm in, so my son's nursery. We're gonna cover what else. I'm gonna give you a little tour of that. We're gonna cover how my last appointment went with my OB. So I'm 40 weeks pregnant. I'm over 40 weeks pregnant actually. And then I'm gonna go over the breast pump that I chose and why I decided to go with that one. And then I'm gonna go over a Q&A that I did I think it was probably like a month or two ago now on Instagram. So I wanna cover those questions and elaborate a little bit more with you guys. Subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications of when I post new videos. Okay, so this is going into the nursery. I actually had my husband take the door off because I wanted it to be very open, and these rooms in our house are not huge. It's perfect for a nursery or like children's rooms. I want him to sleep in his room eventually, not at first. So you see like the floor mattress over there, but I have a little gate that goes right here, and unfortunately my cat has found that he just jumps over it, so it kind of defeated the purpose. I really want the space to be open. I don't want him to sleep in his room or take naps in his room and it have to be like dead quiet, because we do have a toddler. And I remember a long time ago someone telling me like if your baby is used to noise in the home, like they'll sleep through it, they'll be able to nap. But if it has to be like silent and quiet all the time, and then there's like people over, or say we're just loud, then they'll wake up constantly, and it's like you feel like you have to be like creeping around the house. So I really want it to be like our regular environment, and see how that works out. And a lot of things are trial and error. You never know how your child's gonna be or what will work for them. So if anything, like Mitchell can definitely just put the door back on, but that's where we're at this point. So you walk in, on the right I have a large mirror. It's bolted on here, so I'm not worried about it falling or anything like that. My plan with it, and we just haven't done it yet, is to put a bar up, so it'll be a low bar. I think it's like above 18 inches from the ground, and it's if you know anything about like Montessori style nurseries and playrooms, they recommend having a bar on the mirrors so that as your baby progresses, they can actually like pull themselves up on the bar and look at themselves in the mirror, and it's like a lot of fun for them. So and then the floor mattress. So this stuff won't stay in here. So our Snuggle Me, I know I'll use this with him as long as he likes it. I use this with Vienna, so I would put her in here. She slept between us. I have a bedside bassinet for Max. Nap time he'll be on this, but this, like, you can just move around the house. So I absolutely love the Snuggle Me. This comes off, you can wash it. Used it forever with V until she grew out of it. So glad that I kept it. So I highly recommend that. And then this is like a changing pad. So this will actually go in the living room, where I plan to change him in the living room, but right now it's just in here. Let me put this back. So basically with the floor bed, I love this idea, and I've loved it since I read about it and I heard about it. I had already had Vienna. I had already had her crib, and we never used her crib. We have co-slept. She's 3 years old. She still sleeps with us. But with Max, I'm like, okay, I want to do things a little bit different, try, you know, a different approach. So by the time I had known about a floor mattress, I had already had a crib for V, and we never used it. Like I said, I think she slept in it one time for a nap for like 30 minutes. But as Max gets older and I stop using the bedside bassinet as much, I want him to sleep in his room. So the point of a floor mattress is allowing your child to have free space and to roam. So like, say he's not ready for sleep, or he wakes up, instead of feeling like he needs to cry to get out of his crib, he could simply roam around his bedroom. There'll be a gate up, so I'll hear him, but then he has his free space. So that's what I love about like Montessori, is that It really focuses on having a safe space where your child is not limited and can roam around and play. The room, as you can tell, is very open, free space. Like this, he can pull himself up on eventually, but it's just for, you know, my feet. There's nothing really in here but a chair and then the table, which could be a safety thing eventually as he like gets bigger and tries to pull on it. I'll probably move that out. But the table I have there because that's where my little pumping station is. And then for decoration, I just have this shelf, which was already in this room. So I didn't move it or anything. I just left it the way it was, but I just added some cute decor. There's a family picture with, you know, the dress I'm wearing right now. Some of his toys. I think this is so cute. Vienna made this for him. So that's like a little nightlight that you can turn on. I got a cute little fake plant. And that's literally it. And then the olive tree in the corner. So my sister got him this, and then I found a cute like play mat to go under it. So I'll probably have that in the living room as he gets bigger. Look at him just popping out. So there's not much in his room and I love it. The only things I'm gonna add is the bar that I talked about. And then eventually as he gets bigger, I want Mitchell to like make a little wooden box that we can put on the wall with some books there. And that's it. In his closet, there's a lot going on in here. So I feel like I got so many clothes, which has been such a blessing from my baby shower. Like I got double of these, but they're different sizes. His toys I have in here. Oh, you know what? This fan, I actually really want to take this to the hospital. So I'm going to put that with my hospital stuff. You know, he has a cute little hat. His books are up there for now until we make like the little shelf. I have his baby Bjorn, which is, you know, his little rocker thing. In here we have diapers waiting, wipes waiting. And then on this side, here's the mat that I was talking about, so he can play on this. And I'll put that in the living room when the time comes. And then I have his socks. I didn't want to do a dresser, again, for safety reasons and space. So he has like a ton of swaddles in here, blankets. His little shoes are at the bottom. His piggy bank, the coolest thing ever my stepdad made for him. It says Maximilian Villarreal, number 5, because that was always Mitchell's number. And then this is full of Red Sox baseball cards from like ever ago, which was like the sweetest gift, most thoughtful gift for sure from the baby shower. So he's so loved already. But yeah, so that's basically it for his room. Okay, I need a drink. So I just ordered this week and it already came in, a Stanley Cup. I've been looking at them forever. If you follow like influencers or moms, I feel like mom influencers for sure, but like these Stanley Cups are like all the hype right now. And this one was 30 bucks. I think I paid like 39 with shipping, handling, all that kind of stuff. But I got the 30 ounce one. The 40 ounce one has a handle on it, which was the one I was originally gonna get, but I feel like 30 ounces is enough because I wasn't drinking enough water. And I bought a cheap $10 Target cup. My mother-in-law accidentally put it in the dishwasher and it ruined, where this you can put it in the dishwasher. I've been drinking so much more water now because I have this, which sounds so silly, but there's just something about a good cup. I want more of these. Totally worth it. But I knew with breastfeeding, which is my plan, I needed a cup that I need to drink a lot of water. I need to stay really hydrated, and I already wasn't drinking enough water, I could tell, with just like a regular cup. So I fill this up like 2 or 3 times a day now. So it's been good. The one thing, so what I wanted to go over with you guys is my breast pump, and then we'll get into like those Q&A questions that we were talking about. So the first time around, I breastfed for 26 months. So that was breastfeeding and pumping because as some of you may know, like I am a nurse. And so for like 2 years, I was like working and pumping and breastfeeding, and it was very, very exhausting, but it was 100% worth it. So I breastfed for 26 months. The pump that I used was the Medela, which was great. I have nothing bad to say about Medela. Their pumps are awesome. And then I'm a registered nurse, so I was working at our local hospital for most of my like pumping journey, I guess you can say. So I was working at our local hospital, and when I would pump, I would use their hospital grade one on the postpartum floor, which was so amazing. I wish I had that. But anyway, so this time around, nothing against Medela, but I wanted to try something new, because the first time I was just like, okay, like give me whatever, like got a free one from my insurance and moved on. This time my insurance covered some of my pump, but not all of it. I don't know if it's because I have maybe not as good of an insurance, or the pump I got was like more high end this time, but I paid like, I want to say an extra $160 to $180 for this pump. That was a part that my insurance didn't cover. This is a brand new Spectra, and it's called the Spectra Synergy Gold. So the reason I went with this, it's a dual powered electric breast pump. So that means that you can have them, you can have both your, you know, boobs being pumped at the same time. But if one's more sensitive, or say it's not producing as much and the other one's like overly producing, you can change the speeds on each one, so they don't have to go at the same speed at the same time. Like, okay, if one is sensitive and one's not, I can really control it and just feel like I'm in more control. The other features that it has, I kept this box just so I can like read it to you guys. So dual controls allow for independent settings on each breast. It's powerful strength for optimal performance. Soothing 3-level illumination night light. So it has a night light, which I think is cool, because if you know anything about breastfeeding, or if you have breastfed, you will wake up in the middle of the night and you'll be soaked. Like if you are actively producing, your boobs will leak, and you'll just wake up like covered in milk if you don't get up to pump throughout the night. The other thing is the way that you keep producing milk is not only being hydrated and like eating good nutritious foods, you'll stop producing. So the way it works is like, if you are pumping a lot and you're breastfeeding a lot, your body will tell your breast like, hey, keep producing milk. But if you stop, like if you're sleeping for all throughout the night, which you probably aren't because your baby probably isn't, but you fail to pump throughout the night, eventually you'll find that you're not producing as much, and you'll get worried that like you're not producing as much as your baby needs, and your milk's slowing down and you're losing your milk supply. So it's really important to just like be on it. So it's cool to have the night light, because if, you know, if I don't want to turn on the whole light, if I'm just tired and I don't want it illuminating, I can just turn on like the cute little night light. So customize massage mode settings for comfort, and then ultra quiet for discreet pumping sessions. So it is really quiet, where my Medela was a lot louder. Touchscreen LCD with timer control, so then you can like time how long you pumped, and then backflow prevention to protect against contamination. This is what it looks like. So it's also very pretty. It's aesthetically pleasing. So you turn it on right here, and there's the timer, there's the vacuum, and then there's the vacuum. So like it said, there's a setting for each breast. You can control the left side, the right side. If I press it, there's like different settings. It gets brighter. There's like 3 different ones. And then that controls like how hard I believe it suctions. So I did a lot of research on it before I purchased it, and I was like, I might as well go with the best. And then I got this bag from my friend, thank you, you know who you are, for my baby shower, and I absolutely love it. And I decided I was gonna put it in my car originally, but then I was like, this can be my pumping stuff, so if I do need to take my pump somewhere, I have it all with me, and I can just grab the bag and grab the pump. So in here I have some goodies. I have all my pump stuff ready to go, so I've already sterilized it. You can see those, all the bottles and stuff. Here's some disposable breast pads. I have some nipple cream if I should need it. I have my Haka in here ready to go. If you don't know what a Haka is, I think I'm saying it right, you need it. I didn't have it, I didn't even know about it until I had already had my daughter. I wasted so much milk. So at the beginning, especially, you're like just producing and producing if your body is able to do so. Say you're feeding on one side, the other breast is going to keep producing milk. So you fold this over and you suction it to your breast and it flips and it'll just stay there. Just kind of silly, I know. And it will collect so much, there's so much letdown coming from your breast, and it will collect it. And these things get so full. And then you just pour it in a bag and throw it in the freezer, and you just, it's like you pumped without even having to pump. If not, you'll waste so much milk in your bra, you guys, and it just ends up all over you. So you have to have that. These are just the tubing. So I have two, tubes, and then I have bags in here to collect it and put it in the freezer. So I plan on just basically breastfeeding, introducing my baby to the bottle once I go back to work, or once I'm about to go back to work. And then that way, like if my mother-in-law is watching him or he's home with dad, he's already used to the bottle too. So then I'll have him, my breast milk stored in our freezer for them to use. I actually won't even have to take this to work, I don't think. I'll pump before work, and then I'll pump after work and at night. Let me show you though the formula I did get in case my son does not want to breastfeed, because you truly never know. My biggest thing is with a baby, you can plan and think that you know what you're gonna do and how things are gonna work, but I promise that your baby is going to be different. So each child that you have may be a little bit different, and even though like this worked with your first child, it might not work with your second. So I got a can of formula just in case he doesn't take to the breast. I'm praying he does. Health reasons mainly, and then obviously buying formula on top of diapers and wipes gets very, very expensive. So let me grab the formula that I decided to go with. Just walking to the kitchen, I feel so much pressure, but I'll let you know what my doctor had said at the last appointment about all that. So I decided to go with Kendamil Organics. It looks like this. So before, you'd have to order it online and they could ship it to you. And I heard about this first from Carly Bible. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's like a big time makeup YouTube guru, and I've been obsessed with her forever. But I saw that she used this, so I had screenshotted it a long time ago, because you just never know, and I plan to have another baby. But the awesome thing is that now it's sold at Target. So I literally picked this up at my local Target. UK made, organic, whole milk, no palm oil, plant-based DHA, vegetarian. So it's not full of a bunch of filler and crap, if you will, that a lot of the formula made here in the USA or sold here is. And you know, you want the best for your baby. So anyways, Kendamil Organic, if I should need formula, I have it, especially because I know there's that big like formula shortage going on. I haven't looked too much into it recently, just because again, my plan is to breastfeed, but it's good to be prepared, you guys. So you never know. So what I was gonna tell you, what my doctor said. So my last appointment was my 40-week appointment. My baby is super high still, which very much surprised me, because I've been having contractions and it does hurt. Like there's a lot of pressure down low. I was getting contractions like one after the other night, and I kind of thought like, oh, I think it was Wednesday night or something, and I was like, okay, this might be it. It might happen tonight. And then it stopped, so I knew it wasn't like true labor. And so when I went in, he asked me like how big was the first baby. Vienna was 6 pounds 14 ounces, and he was like, I don't think we're gonna get that lucky with this one. So he's thinking he's gonna be bigger. I didn't ask him how big, because my doctor's kind of a man of few words, like he won't tell you too much. Then he checked me, and honestly, it really hurt this time around. So that's how I knew, like, okay, he's not ready. And that's what he told me, was like, he's super high up there. You know, he's like, if your water breaks, go to the hospital. If, you know, you don't feel him actively moving throughout the day, go to the hospital. He's like, or if you think you're in labor, go to the hospital. But he was like, if not, I'm gonna give you another week to try to have him on your own. And then they scheduled me to see him on Thursday and in his office, and then Friday morning at 5 a.m., which is so early, but I'm like, I probably won't be sleeping anyways, might as well get the ball rolling. I'll be induced if I decide like I'm ready and I think it's time. That's what they have me scheduled for, and if he thinks, the doctor thinks it's time. So I'm allowing myself to go to 41 weeks. You can go to like 42 weeks. But I do remember the first time my doctor saying, like, I don't like to wait too long because then you become high risk, and I don't want to risk, you know, my life or my baby's life. But I also very much feel that your body knows what to do, and when your baby is ready and your body's ready, it will happen. So that's why I'm kind of like seeing like, where will we be when that time comes? Vienna guessed August 13th, which is today. I told her, like, I don't really like the number 13. So she said, okay, August 14th. So today's the 13th. So it would be kind of fun if he was born on the 14th, just because it's like, that's what his sister guessed. And she already loves him. And I feel like they have like this sweet little bond already, even though he's not here yet. Like, she cannot wait for him to be here. But let's get to these questions. I had done a Q&A on Instagram a while back. My Instagram, just like my YouTube, is basically about motherhood and family and respectful parenting. So these are some of the questions that I received, and so I want to go over them on here too. So if I want to elaborate, I can. So have you always wanted kids was the first question I got. And I said 100% has always been a non-negotiable for me, God willing. Thankfully, Mitchell jumped on board. So I think there's this underlying fear as a woman, and I thought it was just me, but I found that like the more women and friends I talk to, we all kind of have this fear, which is kind of, I don't know why we have this fear, but I never had regular periods, and I started my period like later than most girls. So I always thought, like, if I'm not having a period, like, obviously I'm not ovulating and my body's not doing what it needs to do. And it's gonna be really hard for me to get pregnant. Well, once Mitchell and I decided, like, let's start trying, I got pregnant right away, which was probably sooner than he had wanted or I had expected. But everything's in God's timing, you guys. Like, I truly believe that. And so yeah, and then with Vienna, I never had a period while I breastfed. So for over 2 years, I didn't have a period. And then I had a little one and we started trying again, and then I got pregnant right away. So I think a lot of it's in our mind, or we see other people having, you know, not being able to get pregnant right away and stuff. So then we think it's going to happen to us. And if you've always wanted to be a mom, like, I've known literally since probably I was like 14 that I wanted to be a mom. One day, I thought I'd be like a lot younger when I started having kids, just because I always knew I wanted to be a mom, but my first baby was born at 27. But yeah, so I think that, like, it's just always in your head, because it's like, no, this is what I want so badly, and I can't wait to mother and nurture and stuff. So yes, I've always wanted kids. Mitchell was more like, if it happens, it doesn't, it doesn't. But I also feel like that has to do with being a man and not being like naturally nurturing. I don't know. I know there's some men that like really want kids, but for me it was like a deal breaker. Like, we're having kids, or, you know, eventually, or we can't be together. Like, this isn't gonna work for me. So luckily we got on the same page, and we have this beautiful family. And we're so blessed, and we both know that. So the next question, what advice do you have for a new mom? So what I said was, find your calm. Children are not able to self-regulate. The storm passes faster when you remain centered, so you as the parent, and you cannot expect your child to not experience big emotions when we still do as adults. So if you guys are part of my book club, which is, you know, here on my channel, I talk a lot about this. This is what I feel like a lot of respectful parenting focuses on, is being the calm and respecting and validating your child's feelings, and also respecting and validating your own feelings and being that example for them. But finding your calm makes everything better. Everything's centered around mom for the most part, and our child is kind of a reflection and they mirror off of us. So that's my advice for a new mom, is to focus on you. And if you have anything that like you're dealing with or you haven't healed from, so maybe like childhood trauma or like a past relationship or things that trigger you, like maybe you find yourself like easily triggered by your children or them not listening, or whatever triggers you, like find why, what's the center of it, and find how to not be triggered and to find your calm, because I promise you it will make motherhood and just life so much better and so much easier. And it's just healing, you know? So heal yourself and everything else will come together. Has your pregnancy been different this time since you're having a boy? So I have 2 kids, one that's almost here. So my first one is my daughter, Vienna, and then we are having Maximilian. And yes and no. So at first I was like, okay, you know, when I found out it was a boy, I was like, it has been different. Honestly, I would take that back. At first I thought he was sitting a lot lower, but he's not. He's sitting really, really high, just like Vienna did. And then he's very much forward in my abdomen. So I know some women will carry in their back, or they'll experience a lot of back pain. My kids sit super forward. So I naturally have an innie belly button, and I have an outie my entire pregnancy with both of them. So they're just like pushed to the front. I don't know if it has to do with like where my placenta sits or really what, but it's been the same exact way. So with Vienna, I did have a lot of headaches the first trimester, and I wouldn't want to take anything for them, like not even Tylenol at first. So then they would turn into migraines and I would end up vomiting. But I also contribute a lot of that to, like, I was working in an ER. I was a first-year nurse. I had just graduated, and then I became pregnant. There was a lot of stress, a lot of stimuli in the ER, long hours at work. Probably didn't drink as much fluids while I was at work because you're like running the whole time. And with him, I didn't get any of that. I wasn't throwing up. I didn't have headaches. But I just was so tired the first trimester with him, where I don't really remember that as much with Vienna. I just remember, basically, if I would say there was a difference, is when things really got to me this pregnancy, like to my heart, like my core, I would get really emotional. And then just extreme fatigue. That's about it. But other than that, like, I've had great pregnancies both times around. So, and I've gained weight from the time I find out I'm pregnant. I feel like my body just starts gaining weight, where I know some girls are like, oh, like my jeans fit me, like, until I was halfway through. No, like right away my boobs get big, my butt gets bigger, everything expands, I swear, and nothing fits me. So it's been the same with both girl and a boy. Are you nervous for labor? Not at all. Labor has never made me nervous. What I worry about is living up to my own standards in motherhood. I want them to equally feel how blessed I feel to be their mother. So now that labor is sometime this week, I'm not nervous. Okay, I take that back. I'm a little bit nervous just because my first one went so good that I'm hoping that it's the same story, or like, you know, like it just goes as great and we're both healthy and happy, and that's it. So that's, I guess I could say I'm nervous when I read or like hear other girls' stories that I've been like pregnant along with, and then, you know, they end up being there for days or whatever, or they end up having a C-section and that's not what the plan was, you know, like those kind of things. It does kind of like get to you, because having a toddler at home, I know my husband and I, we've talked about it, like we don't want to be there longer than we have to be. And so I guess that's like what's kind of in the back of my mind, is like I'm hoping that my body progresses on its own. I go into labor on my own and we can have Max. He can be, you know, he's healthy, he's happy, just like Vienna was. I'm healthy, and we can go home right away and introduce brother to sister. So, and then what's your dream job? So not a traditional job. I would love to do something that allows me to inspire women to fall in love with motherhood. We live in a self-absorbed world, which is why I believe so many women no longer take pride in the daily tasks of motherhood. We have to get back to what's important: our home, our families, and our children. So I love being a nurse, and I love the education that comes with it and everything that I've learned. But this is kind of what inspired me to start my YouTube and to share more on Instagram, because I really love motherhood, and I feel like the title of being a mom isn't always held to, or it isn't always respected, I guess I should say, as it should be, because moms give their good moms give their heart, their mind, their soul, their body, everything to their children, their husband, their homes. And I feel like nowadays, with things being so expensive, there's such a worry about just finances and being in like a survival mode type. And I really want to encourage people to get back to like, hey, like what you do in your home is important. What you're teaching your children is important. Doing your husband's, you know, dirty laundry and folding his socks, those are such important things that just kind of like they're expected and no one talks about. And so I love to share like my family and my home, and I guess just encourage women to feel good about what they're doing and to know that like their role is crucial and important, and they are important. So anyways, yeah. Are you nervous to go from 1 to 2 kids? So I'm not nervous about the kids, but more about me. I've never been a super structured person. I like to take my time and move at my own pace. So what I mean by that is, I know there's some women who are like, my kids get up at this time and they eat breakfast at this time, and then I make lunch at this time, and you know, bath time's here at this time, and then we, you know, like they have their whole day planned out, and that's not really my forte. I like to, you know, let them sleep in and get ready together, and you know, like what do you want to do today, and like let's go to the park, or how's the weather. Like I'm not very structured. I don't have like okay, bath time is every night at this time. Like sometimes we'll take a bath at night if she's already tired and the day is done, and I mean done, like we've had enough, like we did enough that day, we're tired, we just need to lay down and restart tomorrow. We can take a bath in the morning. Yeah, so I feel like I probably need to get a little bit more structured in that sense, especially because now that I work full-time Monday through Friday as a school nurse, and I'm gonna have 2 children. I am kind of nervous about like how that's all gonna play out, or how I'll feel. So anyways, that's about it. And what did you struggle most with as a new mom? So what I struggled most with was realizing the world still requires and expects a lot out of you. All you want is everything to freeze around you while you settle into this life-changing role. I had to give myself a lot of grace and make it known that the most important part of me is her. Are you stopping at 2, or would you like more? And then I said, I think we will stop after this one. So at 2, leaving a third is up to God. Leaving Leaving a third up to God. Ideally, we would like to adopt one day, but after a lot of praying and growing. And I just sent Mitchell a photo of me and it said, if I ever want another one, send me this picture back. This belly has taken over. So I sent my husband probably the most unflattering picture of me laying down that I caught in our mirror. And I was like, pregnancy, you know, it's not always, pictures can make it look cute, but most of the time it is very unflattering and not cute. At least that's how I feel on me. I've never seen a pregnant woman that I felt that way about, but you know, we're harder on ourselves. But I do feel like with 2 children, there's mom, there's dad, there's, you know, one for each. Like if we go to Disneyland or anything, it's like I have him, you have her, vice versa. If you have 3, you're outnumbered. If you have 4, even more so. I also like to be very involved, and so does my husband. And so I think about like sports or like different activities that they're in as they get older. And I would hate to be like, okay, well, you go to this one, I go to this one, nobody's going to this one. You know, like having to like navigate that. So I don't know. I'm definitely leaving that one up to God. And also Mitchell and I are like, let's see how it is with 2, give it a while, you know, maybe a good 6 months to a year, and then see how we both feel. Be the last one I'll stop at. What made you want a Montessori nursery? I think her learning theory is amazing. I said, over time I have found that simplicity is best in all aspects. I love the principles of Montessori because it allows children to learn at their own pace while feeling safe and confident in the given environment. By not including items that are not child-proof, it will allow Max to explore, learn, and take in his environment without being overstimulated. Montessori aligns with Rye parenting, which is another parenting philosophy I truly adore. Do less, observe more. So that goes back to like this video about his bedroom and why I chose to keep it minimal, why everything is basically safe in here. And then like I said, like the table, whatever I need to remove, I can, but this is his space. And so I want him to feel safe in it and to be able to play in it without there being a bunch of hazards around. That's all for my video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching this video. Please like it, subscribe to my channel, and the next time I see you guys, I will probably have Max here with me, which is so exciting. So anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for watching.